The 2020 Jeju Forum for Peace and Prosperity kicked off on Korea's southern island of Jeju from November 5th to 7th. The annual forum brought together world leaders, diplomats, government officials, and scholars both in person and virtually amid the global pandemic. In the first Ambassadors Roundtable, the top diplomats of Indonesia, Sweden, Japan, China, and Germany discussed the theme of changing dynamics of Northeast Asia multilateral cooperation.
So, in short, we want to be you. But at the same time, we also see what is called the Asian paradox in this region. That's why we think what can be done is first for the countries in this region to decouple sensitive security issues from non-security platforms and promote more functional cooperation on sectors being the common priority of peoples in the region, such as public health, food security, green development, digital economy, and others.
But still we are of the view, which is also clearly mentioned in the UN resolutions, that we must talk to the North Koreans and that there is a duty for all of us to seek negotiated and peaceful solutions between the parties concerned. And because there is no military option. I think we all agree with that who look at this closely. I think it's the ability to determine and also the willingness to stick to long-term commitments on both and all sides. Because if the goalposts keep changing, the risk will be all too high that fragile agreements will flounder.
So I think more practical approach is to try to go with a multi-layered and multifaceted and above all pragmatic approach to make a progress in regional cooperation. We need to ensure the continued and constructive engagement of the United States in this region. The region needs the United States and the United States needs this region.
동아시아는 올해 어느 날 세계에서 가장 역동적인 지역이며 앞으로 가장 큰 잠재력을 가진 경제체로서 결속과 협력을 강조하는 아시아적 가치관을 견지하고 세계화의 시대적 흐름에 따르며 다자주의의 올바른 길을 견지해온 덕분에 성공을 거둘 수 있었습니다.
On the other hand, it is also important that one does have a long breath and step-by-step tries to get towards a solution. I think if we don't have strong multilateral institutions, if we don't have a rule-based system according to international law, where everybody is also playing along these rules, only then we do have some kind of reliability amongst the nations. And I think only if you do have reliability, then it is possible, then you actually can also work on trust and overcome.
In the second Ambassadors Roundtable, diplomats from Korea, Australia, Italy, Singapore, and the European Union shared the lessons and experiences learned from their countries on how to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic.
The only way forward is an inclusive approach based on openness, transparency, and civic activism. I believe that the fastest adherence to these principles and steadfast adherence to these principles has empowered Korea to gain some successes in the fight against COVID-19.
It's clearly the case that COVID-19 is not just a Korean crisis or an Australian crisis, it's a crisis facing the whole world. And we only have to face the news every day of the number of new cases that we're seeing globally. It reminds us that pandemics don't care about borders. It doesn't care about which populations it targets.
Based on public health needs, all countries should have access to the share of the medical products and when will be available the vaccine for COVID-19. But we should prepare now. because we are not talking about 100,000 or millions of doses that should be distributed. We have to think in terms of billions.
Throughout the whole process of managing COVID-19, since the start of the year, strong leadership provided by the government, working with the people and working with the people and working for the people, I think was of utmost importance since the beginning.
Health security, that has been, I would say, the first challenge. Health as a global public good, it's very important to all of us. We have to be more resilient social cares. We have to ensure greater health security. We have to pool resources to try and find, a strategic stockpiling of medicines, of pharmaceutical products.